Goose, 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 goose. Goose, 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 goose.
Waxwork, 1988 comedy horror film, directed by Anthony Hickox, written and directed by Hickox in his directorial debut, starring Zach Galligan, Billy from Gremlins fame, with a Deborah Foreman, Michelle Johnson, Dave Warner, Dana Ashbrook, and Patrick McNee. Partially inspired by the 1924 German silent film Waxworks.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this pick. Why was this something for you?
Waxworks. I didn't even know this movie existed until maybe a few years ago. Like everybody knows, I'm a fan of James Rolfe, who the AKA video game nerd.
Right. AKA
Cinemassacre. He's a big horror guy, and what he used to do is every year, he still does it some years. I think he takes years off at this point, but he used to have something called Monster Madness, where he would try to review every day for the month of October a different film, and he'd give you like maybe a 3 to 5 minute snippet, just kind of covering a different movie. And one year he did, it was all Godzilla films. One, it was all slashers. One year it was just all random goodness from the 80s. And this just happened to be one of the films that I saw, and I was like, oh, hey, there's Billy from Gremlins.
A film I had never heard of. I can kind of picture like the box art in my head, but that's really about the whole thing.
Yeah, you remember that one? Yeah, it's the little
like the midget.
Yeah. With he's opening up the door and you see all those weird distorted faces inside. I remember that one from back in the day for some reason. It just seems very familiar. Or maybe every time you put on like Prime and they show horror movies, the limited selection they have, that's just one of them that's always there.
We talked a little bit about this on a recent pod, but there was it's a bit of a challenge with kind of like those the 80s horror films, even if like a bunch weren't great, had just crazy good VHS box works, and you could never all the art on just about all those movies was so fucking good. You would just have no kind of clue of like what was actually like inside the thing.
Oh, exactly. You see the cover art for that, and then you find out the premise for this, which I'll kind of get into a little. But yeah, it's about a waxworks or a wax museum that kind of pops up in town, and then there's Billy from Gremlins,
right?
And then his 3 high school friends, Sarah, Tony, and China.
Right. China.
What a name.
The
China.
First thing that one of the first things I wrote down in my book, in my little notebook here. I'm not proud of this, but I'm very proud of us. I just put down all the D in China.
I wrote Billy. He's never been on a plane before, but he's seen vagina. It's a great film because for me, I remember seeing, like I mentioned, on Monster Madness, the review for this, and how much weird shit was in it. And then also being attracted to the premise, which is like a wax museum pops up. They have all these different displays that if somebody kind of stumbles into the display, it might be like a werewolf, a wax werewolf, or like a vampire, like Dracula or something, or a mummy. You get pulled into this little like microcosm world, where now you're living in like a movie
in a cabin that's being attacked by a werewolf, or you're living in Dracula's castle, or you're in like the tomb with the mummy.
And there's real consequences, meaning if you die there, you actually die and become part of the exhibit. Right.
It's so all the exhibits in the waxwork are actually missing wax sculptures of the victims. So if you kind of step into the universe and you can't escape, you do die. You actually materialize back into the real world as Dracula's victim, or somebody that's torn apart by the werewolf.
Yeah. So it's all about how these kids go late one night to have some fun. They kind of like sneak out, and then they go to the waxworks that China and Sarah had kind of stumbled upon, and a couple of them get pulled into the exhibits.
Right.
And so then you spend the rest of the movie, Billy and Sarah, trying to figure out like what happened to the friends. They go to a detective who goes to figure out what's going on. Then he gets pulled into one of the exhibits. And the way it actually unravels is they're trying to figure out
Right.
what
It's
really
it's
happened
sort of
there.
basically if every exhibit in the Waxwork has the spots of its victims filled, it just opens up like a tunnel for the devil and like hell on earth, actually, basically.
Yeah, each one has like a powerful like amulet or device or something, like something that gives it energy that each of these kind of like characters in the exhibit had when they were alive.
Right.
And if you're able to get enough victims into the exhibits, then it brings them to life, and then they can come wreak havoc on the world again.
So let me say a couple things about this movie.
All
I
right,
had a
what was your
really,
take on
really, yeah. I had a really great time watching this movie. This is again sort of very sort of similar to like the thing that we've been kind of going on ad nauseum about, sort of kind of how great kind of 80s stuff is, particularly horror jaded, which is just practical effects, costumes, makeup, lighting, fake blood, great concept, synth
all the
scores.
dialogue is you could never recreate something like this nowadays.
This falls a little bit short of movies like The Gate, which I absolutely love, kind of from yesterday. This falls really short of movies like a Reanimator. This is the only sort of thing I'll say kind of against this movie is you can really tell this is a first-time director, and at one point they ran the fuck out of money to kind of do everything that they wanted to do. But it's kind of part of the job, like Reanimator. They knew exactly how much they had to work with, and every single thing that they kind of do for like all like the costumes and the effects and the monster things and everything else, it hits exactly the point it needed to for like the scope that it did. The movie, this was a really fun movie. But the movie that was in this director's head must have been completely loco bananas. The trivia around this is really kind of so much fun. Do you know how many total exhibits there were in the?
It was 30 something, 32,
18.
18. Okay.
18
Okay.
with 3 more planned. Do you mind if I just read through them real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So they only really kind of showed you kind of going into like 6 of these exhibits, but they had creatures and monsters and exhibits for all 18 of these things. They were Count Dracula, Phantom of the Opera, a witch, a Marquis de Sade, a werewolf, a mummy, a voodoo priest, zombies, an urban legend killer with an axe, the Invisible Man, Frankenstein, invasion of like a pod from Invasion of the Body Snatchers, a demonic baby, a gray alien, a Cobra Man style circus freak, Jack the Ripper, Mr. Hyde, and a Jewish golem. And they also want to do Friday the 13th, Village of the Damned, and The Thing for additional exhibits, but couldn't actually get the rights to.
No way.
I fucking love that. I love the swing. I love the ambition. A maybe more seasoned, more experienced, like a Carpenter or someone else would have been like, yeah, you know what? We're only going to 6 of these things. We can just have 6, like in like the Waxworks itself.
They probably spent most of the budget on bringing in Billy from the Gremlins, Gremlins fame. So that's
well, all the teenagers that star in this thing are kind of really interesting too. So in addition to Billy, who I think is kind of maybe it's a bit of a Jason Biggs sort of weak point, like the film, like he's kind of just fine. But the other teenagers, Michelle Johnson, Deborah Foreman, and Dana Ashbrook all have really, really interesting histories. Deborah Foreman was the star of a very big kind of teen drama from 1983 called Valley Girl, right? I think she got like some award nominations. It was one of like Nicolas Cage's like first roles. She was in line to actually play one of the teenagers on Twin Peaks, and apparently she actually had like a long-standing friendship with David Lynch for years and years afterwards.
This was China?
No, she was the straight-laced girl.
Oh, okay, Sarah. Okay.
Michelle Johnson, who played China, her most famous role is a couple years prior. I swear I'm not making any part of this up. She started with Demi Moore in her first role and in a Michael Caine Brazilian sex comedy called Blame It on Rio. Demi Moore and Michelle Johnson both had nude scenes in this movie. It was shot in Brazil. Demi Moore was 18 years old at the time, no problem. Michelle Johnson was 17 years old at the time. Big problem. They were not actually allowed to like film nude scenes of her. She personally petitioned the Brazilian government to allow the film production to actually like to like film her nude. This movie is considered one of like the nastiest. It sounds kind of gross now. People in 1984 even were like, "What the fuck is this actual sort of thing?" Yeah, and finally Dana Ashbrook, he got cast in Twin Peaks in a very, very major role. He played Bobby Briggs.
Tony? Is he Tony?
Yeah. He's the guy who dies by the werewolf pretty early.
Werewolf, yeah.
He got kind of clocked and cast by David Lynch just on the performance that he gave him like Waxworks for like this movie.
He was great in the film, by the way. He really should not have been as funny as he was. He has the best line in the film too, by the way.
What's up?
Where it's just he first gets pulled into the exhibit and he's looking around. He had, a couple drinks in him at that time. He goes into the exhibit. He's looking around. He's just like, whoa. And then he's like, okay, who put acid in my drink again? It's just so funny.
And Lynch is there going like, that young man has verve and swagger.
The balls that man has. He's got it. We give him a job.
God, I talk about how asexual and depressing a Boner Lake was. I like the fact that it actually allowed the two women in this movie to actually sort of depict horniness. Because one gets stuck in the Dracula world. Yeah.
Oh yeah, go with the Dracula first. Let's leave it at
that.
Well,
that's kind of standard, whatever. But I love the whole thing where Deborah's character Sarah, right?
Yeah.
She kind of turns down like Billy, like at the beginning. She's like, yeah, you know what? You're not what I'm looking for in a man. And then later in the film, she's stuck in the Marquis de Sade exhibit. The Marquis is there. He's like, I'm going to whip you till you're nearly dead. Then all my friends are going to run a train on you. And then we're going to leave you to die in a ditch. And she's like, finally a real man.
I was high-fiving in the air when they were in Billy's attic, his like parents' house attic, and he found like these like old news clippings of like waxworks that got hit up. That it was like his grandfather got killed, and he used to have this like all these different like precious like possessions or whatever that had like some kind of value and special power or whatever. And then his partner killed him, stole all of them, and opened up like a waxworks, and it just happened to be this guy. So he's like, hey, he's like, Sarah, come check this out. And she finds this book of the Marquis de Sade.
This pre-50 Shades Marquis de Sade shit.
Yeah.
Like,
she pulls up this book that just says Marquis de Sade on the outside in giant letters, and she opens it up and starts glowing like it's a fucking page master. And then you could just tell that look on her face. Like, I'm like, oh, she's getting so horned up. This is going to be, it's going to be spectacular. And I don't even know why this whole thing exists in the film at all. But I love that it does.
Yeah.
She gets pulled in that exhibit. She gets whipped to shit. Billy's trying to save her. And she's like, no, I love him. Like, oh, I want him to finish. And I'm like, wow. Okay. And all the other women that were there that were getting like primed. By the way, I don't know if you caught on to this, but the Marquis de Sade was whipping that woman for, what was it, like the prince or something like that?
The specifics escape me, but yeah.
Whoever it was, that is actually the director of the film. Playing that role. So he's like, I want every part of this.
People were braver and had more fun.
They did. The 80s were a great time, man. They forgave a lot. And it's so funny because she gets whipped up and they have all the other girls in like the other room waiting for her to like get pulled in there so they can have like an orgy or something. And they're going like, man, lucky bitch. Oh my God. It's just because she's a virgin that she's getting all the attention. And they're like, oh, but she totally deserves it. And I'm like, oh man, high school girls are the same. They don't change at all.
Other things we got to call out for this. Patrick McNee, who was, I think, like the relative that sort of leads like the big like the society, like other guys that kind of know like the Waxworks being run by like an evil guy. Yeah. Did you recognize him? Do you know what else he's from?
I don't know. Okay.
He had a very brief thing in Spinal Tap as like the British producer Sir Eaton Hogg. He's got like a 2-minute thing at the beginning, but this guy was in the 60s maybe the most famous and most handsome actor on British television. He was the lead of the Avengers. that he first starred he first starred in with Diana Rigg, who played Lady Holiday on Great Muppet Caper, and played like the played like the elderly like Natalie Dormer's grandmother in Game of Thrones eventually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But this guy, super famous. I wrote down at one point, just Billy and Sarah kind of come to him, and they're asking, "What's going on in the Waxworks?" And and he just goes, "Okay, here's what you need to know first: immortality and the devil are both real." And then he goes on to explain about like a whole bunch of other shit.
Yeah.
Wait. That
just
was
wrestling.
amazing. And then there was the college professor at the beginning who had the Nazi flag and was randomly kind of Heil Hitlering.
That guy, yeah. Wow, how did they get away with that? And then Billy's not paying attention in class, so the guy's like, "All right, you got to write like a 60-page paper on dictators,"
Right?
Which then he assigns to like the housekeeper,
like Lucita, the housekeeper.
Yeah, who doesn't speak English, and she's just like, there's a scene where she's just screaming.
He comes in, she's like, "No puedes, no puedes."
Yeah, he's like, "I'm sure it's great."
Yeah. I really had a great time with this movie. What frustrated me like a little bit is there's so many ideas. It's so bursting at the seam. In Dracula's castle, they go to Dracula's basement. It looks like the basement of the YMCA. It has like all this kind of really white symmetrical tile.
Yeah.
But then there's an amazing fight scene, which I guess they had to kind of cut off half of. But at one point, like this one vampire chick gets impaled by 3 different kind of champagne bottles that all pop after she kind of gets put onto like the champagne rack. And then there's a final scene where Patrick McNee leads kind of like a charge against the
I was thinking of you for this last scene, by the way. The big it's like the
it's basically a
Royale scene.
Pub brawl,
I still remembered there was one part of that fight which I'm like, this is for Johnny.
Okay. Is it when they drop them, like when the pod goes, "Feed me," and they drop the midget into it?
Sarah grabs the fucking midget butler, shoves him in a plant with its mouth open, saying, "Feed me." It's like, "Feed me," and then just starts eating him. I was like, "Oh, Audrey too. That's for John." So random.
Another thing where like Dracula turns into like a bat. Someone grabs and holds up a pistol to the bat's face. The bat takes on a Clint Eastwood voice and goes, "Go ahead, make my day." Boom.
Yeah. They're like, "Oh no, he's getting away," and he turns into a bat. He starts flying, and then somebody just grabs him and then just like blows his head off. I'm
describing this movie, and I've decided to add like an additional 5 points to it as I'm thinking about everything that happens. The worst thing I can kind of say about this is it's just, I wish this should have been 5 movies. This guy should have had fucking Titanic movie to actually make it. I want a version of this where it's all the exhibits have their own kind of story and like their own scenes and everything else. I need this shit to be Lawrence of Arabia. I need this movie to be like 4.5 hours long. It's just
God.
The frustration to me is like it's so, there's so much there. He just couldn't write on the margins for this thing.
I didn't pick this film because I thought it was a great film. I picked it because it's a fun one to watch when you want to watch like old flicks around like Halloween time.
It's
on.
It's so about the story. Like the people that make this shit love it more than any of the fans. I think at the end of the day,
yeah.
I just think that the thing that's infectious to me about it, and in particular talking like with you, is just this guy, whatever this thing was in his head, was just he probably had a complete masterpiece visualized. The final fight scene at the end, he had the whole thing kind of scripted out at 4 days. Basically, a bunch of bankers and teamsters kind of showed up at the end of the production and kind of told him, "Yeah, we're going to shut this down tomorrow. You're going to have 1 day to finish this thing." Actually, so that's why there's this whole like big rush and this big.
They're like, "Let's go." Whatever it is, these constraints they put on it, I think it worked in its favor.
So my score for this,
go for it. Yeah.
My score for this, do you have like 1 point before we get to like final scores?
I do. There's a sequel to this film.
There is.
I tried watching it. I only watched about half of it. Yeah. It's where Sarah gets blamed for all the carnage that happened. She gets arrested and blamed, and Billy's trying to find evidence to like.
Is it the same actor? The second one?
It's a completely different actress playing Sarah in this
Oh.
one. And Billy, the guy, whatever his name is, reprises his role. Billy reprises his role as Billy. But what they do is,
Right.
yeah. So he decides, he's like, you know what? I found out there's a way that we can go back in time and maybe we can trace back, kind of find evidence as to like what caused all this and what gave these like, you know, things their abilities and trace it all back, and we can bring this back and you can be free. And it turns into what you would not expect, which is kind of like if this were Waxwork was the Evil Dead,
Right.
it becomes Evil Dead 2.
Oh, that's fun.
It goes way into the absurd, and Bruce Campbell actually shows up.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a scene where Bruce Campbell, he gets, I forget how and this is kind of like doing like an Evil Dead thing. They find like some, you know, demonic script and they read it and release demons or something like that. He gets caught and he has his shirt's ripped open. Billy finds him in like a basement strapped up, and he has his shirt ripped open. He's kind of like cut right up the middle. And like the skin on his chest is pulled back so you can see his open rib cage.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And Bruce Campbell is going, he's like, Billy, you got to save me, Billy. Oh my God, you got to get me out of this.
Billy?
Yeah, he's like, oh, grab that bucket of something over there. Like, he's like, right over there. There's like something that can help get me out. And Billy's like, okay. He grabs the bucket. He tosses it aside. It hits Bruce Campbell's chest, and it says on the side of the bucket, salt. And Bruce just starts screaming. He's like, what are you doing, Billy? He's like, that hurts. That really hurts. You need to find something else. And he's like, I don't know. I think I found like, he's like, try that bottle of liquid or something. He takes that and he throws it at him. Right. And it says vinegar on it. He's like, nope, that's worse. No, Billy, don't do that. Don't do that. And it just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder.
He's preparing a charcuterie board.
Yeah, but Bruce Campbell keeps hamming it up. It's so funny. And I'm like, he's feeding into like Evil Dead 2 vibes. And so that is a unique fun in itself.
Okay.
But I don't know if I recommend that one, but this one I recommend. I gave this one.
So it's the problem with these things is they either completely repeat themselves, or it's way more low budget, or it's just completely gonzo. I
mean, they do kind of the same thing. Instead of exhibits, they just jump back through different periods of time and experience shit.
All right. So I had this originally as a 38, but I think just talk about I'm bumping it to a solid 40 because it's so crazy. It's so much
right
fun.
Here.
It's one of the most bursting at the seams films I've ever seen in my life. But you gotta respect the vision. For you, Waxwork, score 150. What are you giving it?
Oh my God, I'm trying to share my screen with you. Hold on. Okay. You can see what I did with this one.
All right,
ready? Can you see it?
Okay. Bad Marquis de Sade whipping, soda place. Waxwork, solid 40. Look at that.
Solid 40.
I jumped right to the ending of just you complaining about Sarah just getting
That was bad in a good way.
That was bad in a great way. that I think I watched this directly after Boner Lake, and I was just like, yeah, you know what, and maybe appreciate that's most women just getting to have a good time.
I love it. Your expectations are so like, you're like, what could be worse than Bone Lake? And you get this, and you're like, well, here's a gem.
Right. It was such a palate cleanser for me, like a movie that was fun front to back, that was crazy violent, like kind of front to back. It a movie that was horny, and that was imaginative, and that was just I love watching somebody fucking 40 years ago take a kind of swing like that, and sort of thinking to myself, just you could probably sit down with this guy now, and this guy, kind of middle age probably at the time, had this kind of same passion that we do for these things right now. Was so excited to make his like first movie.
Yeah.